a woman suddenly discovered a private plane trapped in the desert. The plane had stopped in a desolate canyon. She thought she had finally found her way home. But when the woman slowly approached the plane, she suddenly found something was wrong. No matter how loud she shouted, the huge plane was not only unmanageable, but also revealed a trace of ghost. The woman's heart was half frozen. This passenger plane seemed a little abnormal, but the timid Anna still held her head up. She chose to continue exploring. Her climbed up the ladder in a hurry. Then she carefully entered the mysterious cabin. Unexpectedly, Anna was just out of the cave. She was shocked by the scene in front of her. She looked around and saw an empty island. And when she pushed the door of the cabin, the woman who had been fragile could no longer hold her head. The old cockpit and the old circuit board and the long-lost communication machine seemed to hint that the plane had been abandoned for a long time. At that moment, the feeling of disappointment was everywhere. But Anna didn't want to give up. So she came to the cabin, but she hoped to be more disappointed. She wandered around, and just when Anna was about to die, she just looked out the window slightly and thought of a way to solve the problem. Then she came to the hangar first. She pushed the tire hard and threw it outside. As the flames slowly rose, a thick black smoke kept floating in the sky. She thought Anna would come to the rescue again. But she didn't expect that she would come to the river directly. She kept pouring water into the empty bucket with a plastic cup, but her eyes kept looking far away from time to time, as if there was something precious waiting for her. What's more strange is that the woman was so thirsty that she would rather carry a bucket with her lungs than open it and take a sip. And when Anna finally reached the destination, she witnessed an unacceptable fact. The little boy who was running around was not only blind at that moment, but also had a scar on his face. Anna couldn't believe her eyes, but no matter how she cried loudly in the car window, the baby was still motionless as if he had fallen asleep. At the moment of crisis, Anna hurriedly carried the bucket to the roof of the car and poured the water from the bucket on the glass floor to cool the inside of the car. Her kung fu was as good as her father's. The baby's little finger moved subconsciously. This small movement made Anna, who was about to collapse, get up in a moment. So in order to save the baby as soon as possible, Anna, who was in a hurry, had to make a bold decision. She saw that he was first curious and then cried. Then she put it in front of the car. Anna immediately lit it with a lighter. As the white smoke slowly rose, the woman hurriedly waved her hands and tried to drive the thick smoke into the car fan. She tried to use this method to force the car to trigger the emergency unlock function. She didn't think that the smart car didn't unlock, but instead issued a constant warning and stopped the car in the fan directly. She realized that she had done a stupid thing. Anna had no choice but to pour out the little water to extinguish the fire. At this time, the temperature in the car had reached an astounding 108 degrees Fahrenheit. Anna couldn't stand seeing the baby pass out. In a hurry, she held her right hand tightly. She hit the car with all her might against the inner wheel and the anti-egg car. Anna first smashed the two car lids. Then she aimed at the car and locked it with her hand, standing on the top of the car, and hit the glass with her right hand. But the quality of this car was so good that Anna's heart was instantly cold. She shouldn't have bought such a tough car. But the worst thing was that the woman hit the car with all her might, which caused the wheels to suddenly start rolling. Anna was in a hurry to use her body to support the car. Even if she was thin, she couldn't resist the weight of the car. But Anna didn't resist. Just because the car reached the other end, it was a cliff with no protection. In just a moment, the car fell into the abyss with the baby. The tragedy was about to happen. A small stone accidentally stuck the wheel, and there was only one step away from the cliff. Although the crisis was temporarily eliminated, the baby in the car was really dying. At this time, Anna, standing by the cliff, suddenly had a crazy idea in her mind. So the woman hit the stone with her right hand and pushed the car to the cliff. And as the car slowly entered the cliff, the woman finally opened her eyes. The driver was a 4-year-old baby, but she didn't hesitate and pushed her son down the cliff. The car was hit by the stone. A strong thunder struck in the middle of the sky. The self-protection function of the car was activated by the liquid pressure device. Then, under the shaking of the tires, the leaning body was adjusted to be stable. Then it hit the ground heavily. In this situation, the woman hurriedly used her hands and feet to climb down the cliff little by little. Even if she almost slipped on the way, Anna didn't care about the danger and kept getting closer to the car. Unexpectedly, the damaged body shocked Anna. Just when the woman was helpless, the light on the side of the car slowly turned on. Suddenly, it caught Anna's attention. Just when the car door opened, Anna finally held her long-lost son. Unexpectedly, due to the long test, the child was already in a coma. Anna's heart fell to the bottom of the valley again. She had no choice but to send the baby to the hospital as soon as possible. So Anna, who had no choice, got on the car that couldn't open the door again. She pressed the start button directly. The car that had fallen off the cliff went smoothly. So the woman, without saying a word, drove the car down the cliff and traveled back and forth in the valley. But soon there was a difficult obstacle in front of Anna. She looked at the cliff in front of her. She wanted to take the car with her. It seemed like a daydream. But don't underestimate it, a mother wanted to save her baby. As the bottom of the valley slowed down, Anna was determined to pull the car to the end. She turned around and rushed to the cliff. As the car crashed into the rocks, Anna successfully drove into the highway. In the end, Anna arrived at the hospital alone with the baby. The child, who was in a coma, also successfully opened his eyes. In front of his mother's eyes, we not only sighed but also thought that this might be the power of life. It has difficulties, despair, and fear. But when someone faces it bravely and overcomes it, maybe the long journey has just begun. This is a strange movie. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling stories. Stay tuned for the next adventure.